everything I recorded today will be everywhere. Alright, watch the footage, whatever, do something.
How's it going, guys? Hi, Luca. I am so sorry, man. I was like, I was mixing up your last name and Alex, first name at the same time, and I'm like, why can't I say your name? I know what it is. I'm saying his last name and Alex's first name. I'm so sorry. Did you get friends?
Alright, I'll help you. You got lots of carrots.
That's my house. I put junk food on my house. Oh, but I'm changing. I'm putting out a pet honey. I know. You have some John Cena, Allie?
And he's been higher.
Are we awake today? No? Maybe? I'm not either.
Is that a new one?
Did you make that last night?
Her name is close to
Good morning, darling students. Oh, right one too, my favorite. From this side, darling students, I'm going to give you, what time is it, Luke?
The time is 8:42.
Okay, so you have three, if it's 8:42, you have 3 minutes. If it's 8:45, it's time to clean up. So what time does your computer say?
8:45.
It says
Look
8:45.
at this. This is not. Look at this. Is
Alright, so then we're going to start cleaning up our breakfast, okay? So make sure the garbage all around you, close up your Chromebooks, put them in, your garbage.
I Oh, the name is actually Cookie. Name is actually Cookie. Why are you saying his name is Cookie? His name is His name is Cookie. His name is Jan. Jungkook's name is Cookie. It's Cookie. Jungkook's name is Cookie.
Computers and phones and juice and everything's cleaned up, right? I still see garbage on the table. I still see computers out. Okay.
I'm actually
Still
going
see
to
cell phones out.
pick it up on my phone. I know. My name is Cracker. His name is Cookie. We talk about Cookie. Now we talk about.
Are we allowed to have fun today? I'm not sure.
Michael, would you like to be the line leader?
We will talk about Bruno. We talk about
Michael's going to be our line leader.
Okay, so you know the moss that's on both my characters? That's no moss. I bought that.
What? Is that what he said? Michael, if you do not want to be the line leader, you can say no, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so it sounds like he wants to be the line leader. Alright. Okay, Michael, please take us out to our classroom.
I'll
Move it.
Please stop doing the pushing and
Doors cannot be iced. And then you wouldn't have a door anymore. But then stuff around the door would melt or catch on fire.
Yeah, but you would be all safe.
Maybe your floor might catch on fire. And then you're not safe.
What if it's not? What if the house has wood and where's your house is ice?
That would not be a good idea for a house. Okay. They do keep it safe on the road because when people speed, that's not very safe.
My dad got pulled over for speeding.
It happens. People do speed.
He was going 60. He was going 6 over the speed limit.
Only 6?
He was going like more than 60.
Oh.
I appreciate all the police officers.
They put a life on the line for us too. Maybe not necessarily just in Ohio. There's other places that have high
There's a nice
crime.
list of things
They
that they
get the bad
do.
guys.
No, but it's this, but still. Write something.
There could be a lot of bad guys if it wasn't for them. And then we could all be living in a lot of danger. And we don't want that, right? You don't want to.
We do.
No, you don't. You don't want to go outside
I
and
could
get
deal
afraid.
with them. I have a BB gun.
I'm afraid all the time.
You're
I have a
afraid.
BB
They
gun.
keep us safe.
Well, I'm already afraid all the time. Even if there is police.
Well, they keep us more safe than they would if we didn't have them.
That is not true.
I have a BB gun in my room right now.
Alright,
Don't
so,
no, don't
what
do
are some
that.
things that are.
I can deal with them.
Can you tell me what else police do?
They chase criminals.
Oh, that's obvious, right? Obvious.
Policemen know too.
They're just people.
They do help us. Everyone in danger, that's what we call.
Say, help us?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. Because they are for schools, to keep us safe, just in case that something does happen. Because there's one,
Nothing ever happens in Ohio.
stuff does happen in Ohio.
Well, barely
Right
ever
by my
happens.
grandma's house.
Sometimes.
Right by my grandma's house. In the independence place.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the castle's perfect, so like when they cast it, you see it stays there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of close to the like kind of close to this one gas station, right? BP, right?
Yeah.
Turn right. You keep on following the road. Turn right and go like this way. Then you end up like, and then it's not because it's like independent, but you go in there like pretty close to there was some gunshots.
That's scary. I heard about that actually.
And if you keep going straight to to a Bellflower Road, there's this one house right there.
Yeah.
When you pass the first house, there's one other house. That's it.
That's so scary.
So whenever you turn to Bellflower Street, the right house is my grandma's.
Okay.
something's kind of like go off. Make sense? Alright, start writing.
What's up?
Yeah, you can, but I really like you to focus. These are important. Focus on putting it on the paper.
Like the sirens go off?
You gotta switch to
No, I
art
do the
okay?
sirens.
Oh, you do the sirens.
Anybody else need some help generating some ideas?
Love it.
Look at this. Good job.
That's awesome.
Boy,
What's up?
okay, good. Miss
Oh.
Ward. Yeah, Miss Ward.
Not this one.
From Luca. Yep.
Awesome. Don't forget your name.
Do you need some ideas, Michael?
Yeah, because whenever I finish the week after church, I usually
No one is stopping my
Say for instance, let's just pretend. Say for instance, you are at home, you know, with mom or dad or whoever. And say for instance, something happens and you need further. Who do you take care of? If they can't by chance help, if they by chance can't fix it yourself. Well, but what if like you hurt yourself like really bad?
You mean like snap your neck? The ambulances.
Yeah, but who do you think's gonna show up with them? So here's, let's think of some things that we have. What if, and say for instance, say we're driving along the road and somebody decides that down your street by your house, it's probably a different speed limit there, right? We probably have to go relatively slow. Like 35, maybe 25, 35?
Like 25.
60 miles. What seems to happen? Like, kill themselves. Possibly hurt somebody else, right?
Yeah, but I think somebody would jump out of the way of a 60-mile-an-hour car.
But you might not see it. So they do things.
You would hear that motor.
You might.
You would definitely hear that motor.
You might.
So it'd be like,
Debatable.
Matters how far away you are.
literally like jump off the road.
So you don't think police officers are going to see it all?
No.
Would you want the firefighter instead?
No, I already
Do you sign your name?
tried to think of I can influence
You don't have to write it. You want to?
yes, with a bucket of water.
What if it's like really, really big?
Stomp it out.
Listen, I like your survivalist attitude, but I really do think that there are some times when you might just need a little bit more help. And that's what these people are here to do.
That's a really bad ad. Just so you know.
I know, every word you, always. Because you've got to be, I'm gonna travel with you all the time.
Okay, then. Well, that's fine.
That's an M.
Well, I really don't care if you are. I really do not.
Alright, so for the sake of what you're asking me to do, can I help you give you a little bit of list of some of the things that I kind of feel like they tend to do for us, and I feel like a lot of us can kind of agree. I think that police officers help to safe. You can even say thank you for
I'm gonna be quite honest, it's
keeping
very, very long since I have
the city of Mentor.
done cursive. The only thing I really know how to do is my name in lowercase.
Thank you for patrolling our roads, because they do patrol our roads. But here's a really sad question.
Yeah, any fun plans?
No.
Maybe, if the weather's nice, right? I think right now we're just sitting tight and waiting for us to
No, car as soon as you get there, and like, everything stops. But now, because you get to have like a college, like, crawl in the car, you just get out of the car.
Are we going to sit down with our letters? 100%. I need to see the letters before I allow you to do that.
Besides, I've got a big metal bat at my disposal. Like, it's literally metal.
Okay, so were you signing this sincerely? Sincerely. Guys, hey, we're not gonna get to Chromebooks. We're gonna switch. So if you have your Chromebook out, please go ahead and put that away. Because we're gonna switch here in just a moment to our ELA block. Because we are running quite a bit behind. Yeah. Like, literally, I would be super happy if you put, thank you for keeping us safe, period. Thank you for patrolling the roads and deciding accidents, period. Sincerely.
That just makes it even harder.
Oh my gosh, but I already wrote it down for you. Right? Perfect. Alright. We are going to transition. Luca, what time is it?
No.
9:30. Holy cow.
No.
That's okay. So we did our morning meeting, we wrote our letters, we're good there. We are going to, I'm going to try to keep us still on time. So we've only got a shorter amount for our writing block, which is totally okay. Or not a writing block, our ELA block. I need you to clear your desk. Please put dry erase markers and boards and things like that away. Mike, we keep working. Okay. So yesterday, let's review for a minute. And remind me, what did we do yesterday for our ELA block? What did we focus on? What did I ask you to do while we were listening and reading that passage? Underlined the evidence. I asked you guys to be detectives yesterday, and I asked you to find the evidence in the passage, right? All right, so yesterday I kind of demonstrated, you guys helped, but it was a little bit more of like me doing it. Today, we're gonna switch gears, and I'm gonna ask that we all do it together, okay? Because my goal is that possibly tomorrow, I'm going to be able to give you guys a passage with a few questions, and you guys are going to be able to find the evidence on your own. I do, we do, and then tomorrow it's you do. It's your turn, okay? So, let me hand some things out. We are going to read a passage about kites. Does anybody know what a kite is?
Yes.
What's a kite?
Something I like when it's windy, it was a big blow in the sky.
Yeah, it's a toy, right? It's a toy that somebody can play with. You typically do 100% use them when it's windy out. I would not suggest you go fly a kite if there is no wind, because that would be quite a boring activity.
It would not be possible to fly one
without wind. It'd be possible. It would just Well, no, you're right. It probably would be impossible, Michael. You're correct. You
It would
probably
be
need at least a
impossible
gust of
without
wind
wind.
to get it up there and to sustain it. We're gonna read some information about kites. Okay. From here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice reading the passage a few times. I'm gonna read it aloud to you once. I'm gonna ask that you guys read it independently, silently to yourselves the second time. And then we're gonna read it a third time, and I'm gonna read it aloud again with you guys following along one last time, so we really get the gist of what the passage is, okay? Remember, what did I ask you guys to do yesterday after I read the passage a couple times?
We have to
Yeah, you guys did write down and answer some questions for me, but I also kind of asked you to tell me what the gist of the passage was. Does anybody know what that actual term is? No, don't forget about the content of the passage. If I ask you what's the gist of something, I'm asking you to do what? What's that literary term that we're doing? Does anybody know? Starts with an S.
subtract.
So, this is not math class.
Yes,
Summarize. Does everyone remember summarizing? I asked you to summarize. So I asked you to kind of just tell me in your own words what exactly kind of had gone on. Okay? So that's kind of what we'll end up doing. We will, as a class, summarize the passage, and then we'll get into the actual questions, underlining the evidence again, and then writing the answers down. Okay? But again, this is a we do, so we're all going to do this together. She had to go run and deal with something, I think. Don't worry about it. It's not her time to teach anyways. All right. Yeah. All right, here is our passage. Again, simply it is called kites. What I will tell you is that this passage, because this is a we do, because we're doing this together, this one is a little bit more lengthy. Okay, it's a needier passage. It's a little bit longer. It's got a lot more kind of going on in it. The passage that I give you guys tomorrow that is going to be the you do is going to be shorter. Okay, so don't fret about that. Don't sit here and be like, oh my God, this word's giving us something with 4 paragraphs on it that we're going to read. Nope, it'll be fine. Okay. All right. So reminder. First time, I'm going to read it out loud. I do want your eyes on the passage so you can follow along. Second time, I'm going to ask you guys to read it independently. Okay? With that, you're going to do the best that you can. If by chance you got to ask what a word is or skip a word and kind of move on, a lot of the times if you just skip over the word, you can get context from the rest of the sentence to kind of figure out what was missing there. Okay? Read it the best you can independently. I'll give you some time to do that. We will read it one more time together to make sure we get the full gist. We will summarize. Then we will move to the questions to find the evidence. Okay? Doable, right? Okay. All right. Everybody's eyes on the passage. Madison, I need you to move. Your eyes are on the passage. Kites. If you go to a park on a windy day, you may see someone flying a kite. Kites can be a fun toy for kids to play with. But did you know that they were invented thousands of years ago in China? Yeah. The earliest written account of kite flying was around 200 BC when a Chinese general flew a kite over the walls of a city he was attacking. His troops were going to tunnel underground to sneak into the city. So the general used the kite to measure the distance they would have to travel to get inside past the enemy's defenses. With this information, they made it inside surprising and defeating the enemy. The first kites were made from bamboo stems and silk, both of which are plentiful in China. The bamboo was used to make the framework. It is strong but lightweight since it is hollow. Silk fabric was used to cover the framework, and then thin thread-like pieces of silk were used for the flying line, the thing that you hang on to when it's up in the sky. Kites have been used for many purposes. Besides measuring distance, they also have been used to send messages, go fishing, and even do science experiments. In 1752, Benjamin Franklin flew a kite in a storm and proved that lightning was electricity. Who's Benjamin Franklin? That's a whole name that they just put out there, assuming you knew. Huh? Who is he? Do we know anything about him?
He flew a kite and he provided lightning and
He proved that lightning was electricity. That's what the passage tells us, right? So we know that he does something. Does anybody know anything else about Benjamin Franklin to try to give us a little bit more context? This is not something that's in the passage, just maybe something that might be in your brain. You remember anything from what you read? So Benjamin Franklin was an inventor. Okay, he made a bunch of the things that we kind of use today. He was way old, right? So this is back in 1752. What year are we in now? So that was a long time ago, right? But he is kind of one of the first people to be credited with a lot of the inventions that we kind of use today. Okay. In 1822, a school teacher named George Pock used a pair of kites to pull his carriage at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Kites today come in all different shapes and sizes. The smallest kite that flies is only 5 millimeters tall. That is smaller than the width of your finger. So that's tiny. A kite could fly that. A tiny kite that small could fly. The longest kite is over 3,000 feet, which is more than half of a mile long. So kites come in all different varieties, shapes, and sizes. Okay, so there's 3 little boxes on the bottom. Can you put a check mark in the first box? Because we just read that once. See that little box down there? You put a check mark there in the first box. We did one full reading of the passage. Guys, put it away for right now. Okay, because I need you guys to know this. Put it back in the container. Alright. I'm going to keep an eye on my watch. I'm going to give you guys probably about 5 minutes or so. I don't want to rush you, but I'm going to ask that you do your best to read this passage again silently to yourself. Skim over it. Remind yourself of what we talked about. Remember, the first paragraph talks all about how the Chinese were the first ones to invent the kites and how they flew it over walls of an attack, or in order to attack a area. The second paragraph talks about what they were made of back when the Chinese were using them, made of bamboo and silk. The third paragraph talks about its many purposes. So it talks about Benjamin Franklin flying a kite and discovering that lightning was electricity. And then the last one talks about all the different shapes and sizes. Okay? So, 5 minutes, starting now. Reread the passage yourself. Can we put eyes on the passage and reread it? Okay. Yes, babe. Yeah. After you're done, you're good. After you are done, to let me know that you finished reading the passage yourself, can you put a check marks in the second box? That just lets me know that you are ready to move on. Yes.
Do I have to read one more time?
I'm gonna read it out loud again one more time, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Because then we're gonna work on finding evidence.
These are creepy characters that chase you out throughout the game.
That sounds like a good idea. I don't know what it is.
Dave, just relax and sit on our devices. Alright guys, time to put everything away. Please clean up your snack. Please put phones away. Please turn off your devices for now. I know, we're a bit behind, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh.